Hey y'all, I'm T the Brand, fellow lashpreneur and lash marketing educator. I help lash artists market smarter, lash better, and keep clients returning. Welcome to my channel. And if you're listening to the Powerhouse Lash Podcast, welcome to another episode of the pod. So today I'm going to be sharing a little lash education with you, but it's more so of a refresher course if you're already a lash artist and you have gone through a school program. Now, sometimes in trainings you may get this information if you have an amazing trainer. Sometimes in trainings you have somebody who just wanted to, make a little dollar and they didn't teach you all the things that you needed to know. But I hope that this video will help you. We're going to be talking about how to choose the appropriate diameters, weights for your clients' lashes. So let's get into it. Recently, I have launched 2 new trainings. One is a look and learn training where lash artists get to come into the Powerhouse Lash Haven. They lash a model and I give them real-time in-person feedback. I may show them some strategies, whatever I can do to help them, improve their lash skills in whatever area they feel like they need it, whether that's isolation, placement, retention, possibly speed. And it ain't no fast track for speed, by the way. Like you have to build the muscle memory in your hand. You have to do it enough, and it's just gonna take time. There is no lash quick juice you can sip. Okay, so if it's marketing and creating content, whatever it is that the lash artist feels that they need, they can come in and get that help. I also offer a lash and learn or a look and learn where they can come in, lash artists can come in, watch me lash, ask their questions, work on your mannequin, try to apply, blah, 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 and so on. So in one of my most recent lash and learn trainings, I saw some things that I think we forget after we are out of lash school or have left our lash training. And it's easy to forget these things, but this is your reminder. Okay, so when it comes to classic lashes, they come in different weights. You have 0.10, 12, 15, 18, 20, and I don't know if anything goes beyond a 20. I have not bought classic lashes in so long, but when I was purchasing classic lashes and doing classic lashes, I only use the 0.10s and the 0.15s. And that is because you can apply a 0.10 to any client. You can't apply a 0.18 or 20 to any client because those lashes, those extensions may be too heavy for their natural lashes. And that can cause lash damage. It can damage the follicle from the lash breaking off or coming out too soon. It can be very irritating and painful because now the lash was probably sitting right, doing right, acting right when you first applied it. But now when the natural lash starts to grow, that extension is weighing the natural lash down. And now your client got to pluck it out or just suffer until they come back to see you for a fill. And you don't want that to happen. The integrity of a client's natural lashes should always be the first priority. It doesn't matter what kind of set that client wants, what kind of style they want you to do with that set. If their natural lashes, the health of them will be compromised by you giving that client what they want, it is your job to express to the client, hey, this is how I can modify this for you for the sake of your natural lash health. Everything cannot be about $1. You cannot be so desperate to make money that you compromise or sacrifice integrity or lash health. So I highly recommend that if you are doing classic lashes, stick to the 0.10s and the 0.15s. I like the 0.15s and the 0.10s because 15s will allow you to give the lashes some texture still. They're a little thicker, a little darker. They are a little heavier. So just be careful with that. But those are safe lengths, or not safe lengths, safe weights or diameters for your classic lashes. Now, when it comes to volume lashes, this is what I'm seeing in these trainings that I'm doing. We may use the appropriate weight for the extension, but the appropriate length is what's kind of compromised. Here's the thing. If you use a 0.03 fan for a set, if it's like a 10D, meaning there are 10 hair fibers on it, cool, no problem, it should be fine. If it's like a 25 gazillion D, because who's counting like the actual hair fibers, but you know when it's a huge fan and when it's a decent fan. If you are making these huge gigantic fans and it might be a 0.03, but the length is 17 millimeters, that length is going to add weight to that natural lash. So it is very important that you are paying attention to, and I'm not saying you can't use 17 millimeters. I'm not saying you can't use whatever length you would like to use, but make sure that your lengths and your diameters, the weight, are, you know, in alignment to not compromise the natural lash health. So not natural lashes, volume lashes come in different diameters, just like classic lashes do. They come in now 0.02, 0.03, 0.05, 0.07. I have not seen anything larger or higher than a 0.07. So let's do a quick refresher on the volume lash weights. So first things first, a 0.02, I like them. I think they're pretty weightless. You still want to, you know, make sure that you're not putting a 70D fan on an anagen or anything like that, but you can use 0.02s for hybrid sets, for volume sets, and for mega volume sets, as well as wet sets, because we use volume lashes to create, you know, those lashes. So I think 0.2s are great. I think 0.03s are great as well. Great for, like I said, hybrids, volume, mega volume, wet sets. I think 0.05s are great for hybrid volumes and mega volume lash sets, but you do have to get a little more careful. So whereas with the 0.02 and the 0.03, you can make bigger fans, with the 0.05, because there is a little more weight to them, you want to make sure that you're not making too big of fans on a client who has thinner, more sparse lashes, and it'll cause more damage. I don't recommend ever using a 0.07 for a mega volume or for a volume set. And if you make big volume fans in your hybrid set, I don't encourage that you use a 0.07 for those as well. Stick to the 3, stick to the 5, stick to the 2s. That is because you don't want to add too much weight to those natural lashes. So also with the 0.02s, 0.03s, because they are lighter in weight, they are not as dark as the 0.05s and the 0.07. So to get that darker color, darker lash line, you can use more lashes, and that's why you should use less lashes in a fan. Use more lashes in a fan, and that's why you should use less lashes in a fan when you're using your 0.05s and your 0.07s. I hardly ever, like never, use 0.07s unless I'm just trying a model set or, you know, testing my hands with a model set. And with that, I only use the 0.07s for spikes, and that is to create texture within the set. So whatever I create to be the first layer or the top layer, I'll spike that layer, and I'll do that with a 0.07, and I don't use many lashes to make those spikes because, again, I don't want it to weigh down the natural lashes, and it doesn't matter what length it is with that weight. My transition or my middle layer, I'll use a 0.05, and I'm making some, you know, decent sized fans. I don't want to say narrow, but they're not wide either. They're somewhere between narrow and wide. Nod. You get the point. And then for that bottom layer, the base layer, I want that lash line to be dark and yummy and full, so I can use 0.03 or 0.02 lashes to, you know, give it that really dark lash line and really, you know, add more texture to it. Mixing those diameters creates a beautiful lash set. Again, it's textured, and you can see the difference in the dark spikes and the fluffy bottom fans, you know, that nice middle layer. That is the only time I use 0.07s. I do not use 0.07s really any other time. 0.05s, they are my baby. I will use them for mega volume, and hybrid sets, but those 0.03s are where I land with majority of my clients. Whether my clients have healthy, strong, dark lashes all the time, all year round, no matter what they do, I'll still use that 0.03 because it's safe. And the same thing for clients who have, you know, weaker, lighter, not as strong natural lashes. I use the 0.03 for them because it is safer. And if I have a client who wants like a wispy look and I can't use a 0.07, I can still use a 0.05 for their spikes, and then do the rest of their lashes do the transition or the base layer with the 0.03 and or the 0.02. So I just I wanted to create this video to remind you guys that those weights do matter. And over time, as your clients continue to come back, you'll be able to see like, oh, her natural lashes, they're not as strong as they used to be. You'll be able to see that they're not as strong because they go from super dark to, a lighter dark, a lighter black, grayish kind of, I don't want to say gray, but the density in the lashes changes because of the weight and the stress that you're putting on that follicle. So be very careful with that. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments so that I can respond, create another video, and help you out. Again, if you have any issues or if you're having any issues with retention, with placement, isolation, whatever the case may be, I offer 2 trainings, the Look and Learn, where you can come in and watch me lash, ask your questions, work on your mannequin, apply the tips, and I also offer a Lash and Learn where you can come in to the Powerhouse Lash Haven, lash a client, get real-time feedback and guidance to help you lash better and make your lash journey a little bit easier. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that this episode of the podcast was helpful, and I will see y'all in the next one.